A shout out to our podcast sponsor, sportsponsorship.co.uk. If you or your business are interested in making a real difference to the Scottish game, supporting hundreds of kids into regular football, get in touch with sportsponsorship.co.uk and they'll find the right fit for your brand. Hello and welcome to Tinpot. My name's Tom, your host for the next hour or so. I'm joined by Matthew.
Hello.
And Andrew.
Hello.
And coming up in this episode, we have a review of the weekend games that we were predicting last week. We also have Mr. Debates, our big debate section. This week we are asking the question, did we miss a trick by not restructuring the leagues in the summer when we had the chance? And we're going to close off, as we always do, with a quiz. So that is what's coming up in the next wee while. But before we crack on, let's catch up with the lads. Matthew, what's going on? How's life?
Yeah, good mate. Just got a new washing machine delivered this morning, so happy days. But after a few weeks of not having one and refusing to buy one because I didn't want to spend any money, and then refusing to get the old one fixed, so just sort of having no washing machine. So it was great. I was just in the river the other day washing the clothes, as you do. I actually took it to mum and dad's. They were on holiday, went to their house, did the wash, did tumble dry, put the heating on, full blast, so it's cosy. Stole a few tins of juice, toilet roll. Thanks, mum and dad. They do that thing where I don't know what it's called, but you order like is it called Who Gives a Crap or something? They get like so much toilet roll delivered. So the back room of my house, like they love tins of juice, like me obviously. So you go, they don't drink as much, but so you go to the back room of the house. My old room, there's like a back room. There's like 100 tins of like Pepsi Max and like 100 rolls of toilet paper because they go to like Farm Foods on a Tuesday, and then they get like over like 60s discount or something on like Farm Foods, so you get like 10% off. So they go and buy like loads of tins of juice from Farm Foods, and here they order loads of toilet rolls. So that's what's in that back room.
I've always wondered where you got your stinginess from. There we go.
That toilet roll, I was just going to dig in with a couple of sub-questions here.
Mm-hmm.
What are we talking with that toilet roll? Is it good stuff? Is it sort of...
Well, the one roll that I've stole has been very soft on the old rectum, so very nice.
Are we talking about toilet roll strength as well? Are we talking
it's high quality
shell
stuff,
levels?
Mate. It's high quality.
Okay.
Good. Fold. You don't even need to fold it double. Sometimes you can go single. Boom.
Oh, come on. How about day off?
On the first
That's
wipe,
risky.
I'm telling you. I swear.
That's risky.
One sheet, one wipe. I am. What is this? Kitchen roll? He's just stolen a fucking towel from his parents' house and wiping with that.
Yeah, no. Oh, sorry, Mum. I thought it was toilet rolls, actually.
Yeah, one sheet does plenty. You're full of shit.
No, I'm not full of shit anymore. I've been using it plenty, and I'm telling you that it's good stuff, mate. I'm a man who buys like the thinnest of the thin, so to have a luxury roll like that has been a good. It's been a good moment in my week. So
nice.
So I think maybe Matthew. He's got a new washing machine fixed. He's stolen some toilet roll. He's one sheet, one wipe. What a world!
Yeah,
he's
ours is clean as a whistle.
Man.
And I had a lot of eggs at the weekend, so I've been using the toilet quite a lot. So I've been making the most of my one roll that I've got. I should have taken more, but maybe next time. They're not back till Thursday, so I can maybe make another trip this week at some point.
Just steal. I hope Colin doesn't listen to this. He's gonna get back and.
You'd like to think my own father would listen, but he does not.
Hey,
I've told him many times. He says, "Oh, I couldn't find it on Spotify." I said, "You just type in the name of the pod, eh? Oh, I can't find it." But he does watch the clips on the social, so that's better than.
I'm going to clip up that specifically so that he sees the fact that you've been stealing toilet roll from his house.
Well, he's weird about when I take stuff, like when I take tins of juice and that. He's always like, "Oh, you're going to finish that tin?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to finish the tin."
So
mate.
would you be if people were stealing shit from your house? I've seen what you're like.
That's where I get it from, my dad. Yep, he's stuck in his old ways. I guess he is like older, so it's fine. He's allowed to be a bit more sort of like anal, if you know what I mean. Like he likes what he likes, and that's fine when you're that age. So
that's fair.
Enjoy your old age, and we'll be having fun in Gran Canaria. And doesn't come home and say, seems like there's a toilet roll missing from my. He just kept it down and go better roll. It's
yeah. Oh boy, what's happening with you, Andrew? Any toilet roll or washing machine related stories?
Not really. No, I've had a pretty stressful day. I've been minding the kid by myself today, and don't know what's got into her, but it was literally the hardest day I've ever had looking after her. She's just been like trying to strangle the dog, ride him like a horse, and trying to jump off the sofa head first, spitting juice all over the wall.
What kind of juice?
Using the like a blackcurrant fruit shoot.
Stain City.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been good. But on the plus side, my lovely wife bought me a gift, and it was one of these ergonomic pillows. Don't know if you've seen them. They look kind of like a bit like a spaceship. You know, you can kind of put your arms through it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I wake up like every night, my shoulders absolutely killing me, my neck's killing me. So she got me one of these. So I was like absolutely buzzing, opened it. And then apparently you have to wait 48 hours until you can actually use it, because it's like one of those like like their vac pack kind of things. So I've got 17 hours and 26 minutes until I can use that pillow. So
you put your whole body in it. You just like climb into this giant
no,
pillow.
not your whole body. It's got like a little dip where your head goes in.
Okay.
And then it's got like, it looks like a kind of almost like a starfish, but with the head bit of the star cut off. And you can like put your arms through it, so then your shoulder doesn't get all fucked up. So yeah, I'm buzzing to test drive that. That's about as exciting as it gets when you're my age. But I
was going to say that's a sort of mid-30s, early 40s relationship, husband and wife gift. That's really good, really useful. But that's the extent of it. Yeah,
that's the kind of thing that brings a sort of a tear to the eye when you unwrap it.
Exactly.
You know, it's like, God, it's just so thoughtful. You know, so gone are the days that you get exciting stuff. Now it's just, if it stops my shoulder pain, I'm going to be chuffed to bits. So ups and downs in the guild household. So it is.
Do you sleep on your arm like when you're sleeping?
I sleep like, a lot of the time I'll sleep either on my side, but like I'll put my arm under my pillow, or I'll sleep like face down. I'll put both arms, and then when I do that, I'll wake up and both my arms are asleep. So then I like have to like shuffle down and like drag them out, and then like just sort of wobble them about until they're kind of
have a wank before you can get to bed. What's it called?
Dead hand gang.
He said, "Yeah, come on."
Yeah, it's a bit like sort of Ed Geening it, but yeah. Anyhow, how have you been, Tammy? Right? Good segue.
Fine, mate. Yeah, just don't know how to follow on from that. Yeah, fine. Just battling with raging Celtic fans on the socials. It's been fucking great.
Oh, we posted, I wonder how that happened.
Yeah, a clip on the socials of you talking about Celtic, and you're obviously wearing your Rangers shirt. So they all just assume that we are therefore a Rangers podcast, and that all we do is speak about Celtic. And yeah, the comments are flying in. It's hilarious.
And
pretty funny. The best part is when they start battling amongst themselves, and one person says something, and they disagree, and they just start rioting.
Guild's been proved right, as the results have shown, in domestically anyway. Guild's been proved right, and perhaps also proved wrong because they suck in Europe. So I don't know where to stand on that.
I think the pod's been proved right. So on that front, maybe I'm right, but we're in the old vibesman category. I think you can't argue with Dr. O'Neill. He's taking care of Vibes business there. Did he fall asleep in a press conference, by the way? Recently?
Yeah, he did. It was so good.
Did he actually?
Yeah, I don't think he was fully asleep, but he's looking down like this, and then he's like, "Oh, sorry, I was just thinking about the last question." Like,
what was
you
that?
blatantly weren't, mate. Your eyes were shut.
Vibesman strikes again.
That's great.
Yeah, it's too good.
Just say go and play to these players. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's why the Vibesman. Just go and play, have fun. Yeah, just
it's working. A big win on the week. Yeah, but I mean, come on, But yeah, big win on the weekend. It's working.
I know they're banging the goals in Scotland.
That's it. That's it. Yeah,
it proves that the Vibesman thing is right for domestic business.
Yeah.
Play a full first game, batter them. Play Killy, batter them. You go into Europe. Or against Rangers, obviously they didn't cruise to that win, even against 10 men. So they play a difficult opposition, someone that's at their level financially to an extent, and they just.
So you need a joint manager then, the Vibesman for the domestic fodder, against the Diddy clubs, and then a tactical genius to get the players going for the big games.
Well,
so he just sort of rocks up with his little briefcase and that and says, "Here."
the backpack returns. I think a level of, like good tactical level of knowledge, but just don't try and work it too hard for domestic games. Just tell them to go and play for those games, and then. But it's hard then to switch it on, isn't it, when you go and play a bigger team in Europe? So you do need to have a bit.
I think that's what they're hopefully going to try and get right with the next appointment. Because at the moment it's no different to how it's been for ages. They've not been performing in Europe, but Martin O'Neill's got them back to good ways in domestic football. So, it'd be really interesting to see who they bring in. But I think they'll try and finally cross that bridge with Europe and have a good go at it. Because they've still got a great squad, really good squad.
Oh, they would tell you differently, and
so
tempting. It's sad that you're not wearing a Rangers shirt for that one clip. Like they've still got a really good squad. Because chuck that on and it'd be Timplosion yet again.
I'll just get my scarf out. 2 seconds.
Oh, unbelievable. Right, let's bash on with episode 24. So we're going to be having a quick chat about the 3 games that we'd previewed last week on Friday's episode. Starting with, we'll work our way down as we usually do. I think it was me in the Scottish Premiership. Let me share my screen yet again for these incredible graphics. If you're listening, you don't get the benefit, but viewers on YouTube are going to love this.
Are you improving the graphic week on week, or is it just the same every week?
It's the same stuff, mate. Same shit. Wheeled out just with different
enrolled
numbers.
In an online course of graphic design or that.
I mean, you can tell I've clearly not. So after week 6 of the Predictor leaderboard, which is, just to remind you boys, can you see this? Yeah?
Correct.
Yep,
excellent.
Correct.
The top prize, if you're top of the leaderboard come Christmas, you get 12 potato brioche buns from Nooch Bar and Kitchen, the sponsor of our quiz. So, yep, I'm still on 7 points, Andrew on 6, Matt on 5. The first game, this is the correct graphic, was me, Hearts versus Dundee United at Tynecastle. I predicted a 3-1 win for the league leaders. Mostly because Hearts are flying, scoring loads of goals. We can't seem to keep them out, and we'd been on a bad run of form. However, Jim Goodwin employed every method or tactic of skullduggery, shithousery, whatever you want to call it, to get himself a point in the capital, and we scraped out with a 1-1 draw. Hearts obviously had the better of the chances, but not in great quantity, I don't think, or in great quality. They didn't really trouble our keeper too much. Not too much more than we did. We had the ball in their net 4 times with 3 offsides. They were all obviously offside, so can't count them as goals. That's the way the offside rule works. But it was pretty promising from a United perspective. We've had a bad run of form. So to stem that with a point away to the league leaders is pretty positive. And Derek McInnes was crying at the end saying they should have had more time added on. So shove that up your pipe, McInnes. You don't need that if you're Big Jim. Don't cry for these things. So anyway, I get 0 points because I predicted a Hearts win and it was a draw.
What were your thoughts on that extra time sort of claim from McInnes?
I get his point. You've seen it before where the old firm, if they're needing a goal, will maybe get extra time added on, but for me, like, there's no science behind it, there's no proof. Just get on with the game. Like, you're trying to challenge for the title. You don't need that washing over your team week on week. I suppose you're going to the break.
He's kind of looking for 8 minutes, though. It was pretty significant. I mean, was there really? Obviously, I didn't catch the game. Was there any merit in if 8 minutes got popped up on that board? Would you?
I don't think
neutral if you took yourself
miles
away.
Nah.
No, really. Okay.
8 minutes wouldn't have been ridiculous. You see that quite often in football these days. I think somewhere in between, maybe 5 or 6 would have been a bit more realistic. You know what it's like though. If 3 gets added on to any game, you can probably yourself add up more than 3 minutes for every single time it's 3 minutes that's added on to the end of a game. You can probably add them up yourself to be a bit more than that. 8, that's probably what he's done. He's added up every single thing. I think 5 or 6 would have been fine. But I just don't like the idea that that's the headline that they're taking away from the game. That's what everyone's now speaking about. You're almost diverting away from what was quite a poor Hearts performance in comparison to the form that they've shown. So
I suppose he's pretty experienced, isn't he? So it's not like he's done that accidentally, taking the heat off his players maybe a wee bit and diverting it elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly. He's got everyone talking about it. So pretty wise move from him. But it's weird because the Hearts game that we had at Tannadice, Hearts weren't particularly good. They still got the result that day. So that's twice they've played us and not been at their best, or so they say.
Mm-hmm.
But they still gone without a loss, haven't they, in the league? So still unbeaten.
Yeah.
The train keeps rolling. But they've got, I think, 3 big crucial games coming up before they play Celtic. All winnable games on paper. Motherwell, Aberdeen and Kelly, I think. So if you're going to win the league, you really need to be getting 7 or 9 points out of those 3.
100%.
Anyway, 0 points for me. On to the championship then. It was Morton versus Arbroath. Andrew had predicted an away win. Andrew, what was your take on that game?
So I think, actually, I must have said the score the wrong way round.
Nice try.
Actually, obviously, I didn't manage to catch the game live, but a really interesting watch from the sort of extended highlights and just looking through the stats. Some of Morton's attacking play was thoroughly impressive in that game. I have to say they had a few chances where they could have slotted away. First half they were pretty relentless. Arbroath had a couple of set pieces in that half, but didn't really threaten so much. In the second half they probably had their best chance with a cross ball in and a header, and I think it was a really decent save, or might have maybe just came off the post. But yeah, they were obviously trying to throw the kitchen sink at it. There was a call for handball at one point as well, but I'm not really too sure whether that was legitimate or not. But Morton's attacking play, as I said, was really, really impressive. I'm surprised that they didn't maybe slot away more. They had a couple of really clean-cut chances, but the way they kind of transitioned into attack was thoroughly impressive. Their goal was awesome. A really good volley to finish there. So a well-deserved win, I would say. A decent game probably to have watched live. Morton getting the win, me getting it completely wrong there.
It was on paper of the 3 games the toughest one, I think, to call, which was made clear when we were recording the podcast last week. You made made that pretty clear.
I made a couple of hints,
subtle hints that you'd picked the toughest game to predict of the 3, but alas, you emerged with 0 points. Matthew, over to you. Down in League One, it was top versus bottom. On paper, the easiest to call of the lot. You'd gone for a 3-0 Inverness win. How did that one play out?
Pretty much as expected. Not that I picked it for the fact that it was a banker, lads. Come on. I had the hope that Cove would come and cause an upset. Unfortunately, didn't muster too much. Inverness with 70% possession, 22 attempts, only the 4 on target, which for them is disappointing. So it was a thoroughly comfortable 1-0 victory, which sees them extend their lead at the top of League One to 3 points, with Stenhousemuir dropping points. So the Inverness train keeps on chugging, and big Scotty K doing a good job there. Cove are still struggling, and you wonder, again, as we've discussed previously, how much cash in the bank Paul Hartley's got. It's been a really tough season for them. But yeah, Inverness, comfortable victory, 1-0. Could be more, and that's about it, really. A good point for me, thanks.
Yeah, exactly. You got a point, so well done. Scott Kelleher, obviously you were pushing last season for him to be in the manager of the season chat. He didn't quite get the Tinpot award, but maybe this year he will.
Yeah, he continues to impress as manager of Inverness. It's a pretty mental league, that one, with points deductions everywhere, and some teams coming up strong and behind them. Alloa with a great result the weekend as well. Obviously Hamilton can still put a run together, still got a really strong squad. So yeah, it's a really unpredictable league, so it's hard to see who's going to finish where, but I think we can all agree that Scott Kelleher is taking his chance as manager of Inverness.
I think Inverness will win that league pretty comfortably, to be fair. I can't really see it being that tight by the end, personally, but do you think that there will be a genuine challenge there by the end of the season?
It's hard to say. I mean, Hamilton's squad on paper is better with a lot of experienced players. Whether or not there's any mental shit going on behind the scenes again that can maybe get them deducted even more points, I don't know. But Inverness and Hamilton would be the top two, so if it wasn't for the points deduction, I think they'd be quite clear ahead. But Stenhousemuir, they had a similar season last season where they were really strong, challenging at the top, and then fell away for the playoffs. Queen of South and Alloa again, decent squad, some good managers. So I don't know. You'd play Imagine Inverness with the way it's going. Obviously, they had a 5-point deduction themselves, so they would have been even further clear. So you probably see it, as you say, Andrew. They could
You've talked yourself in circle in just to agree with Andrew.
I know. I'll just how it usually goes. I think. I like to keep things interesting, but
be interesting that those playoffs. I think Cali probably will be favourites to go and win the league, but then you've got the 3 teams below, like you said, Alloa, Queens, Hamilton. Steny, I think, will fall away. I'd like to see them do better, but I think they probably will fall away. But those playoffs will be interesting, especially when you look at the sort of bottom end of the championship, and the team that they'd be playing in the final potentially. So, yes, that league is exciting. The leaderboard after week 7 of the predictions, I still stay on 7. Andrew stays on 6, but Matt changes from bronze to silver. He's tied alongside Andrew in second place on 6 points. So I mean, it really is all to play for.
Come on, give me those rolls.
Those potato brioche buns could be going to a KY or an FK postcode. Who knows?
Next home banker for next week's selection. See how we get on. Any more top bottom clashes?
It's going to be the 2 Scotland games, isn't it? So
no, we can do the League 1 and 2 and stuff and champion games. Come on.
I mean, last time we did the Scotland games, but that's what got me my 3 points, man.
I'll have a wee look for next game.
Yeah, we can stay with league football, just to keep you happy. Right, moving away from predictions and on to Mr. Debates, our topical debate discussion segment of the podcast. And this week we are asking the question, as I said at the top of the show: did Scottish football miss a trick by not restructuring their leagues in the summer? There's a few questions that fall under that. There is looking at the current relegation scrap in the Scottish Premiership and the sort of title fight in the Scottish Championship. Are those teams much of a muchness? Would, including some of those Championship teams in a bigger league make it a bit better financially in the long term? With those teams getting to play the likes of Rangers and Celtic more frequently, Hibs, Hearts, Aberdeen getting more gate money, etc. You could also look at, was the suggested league restructuring format correct? Is there anything we boys would do differently if we were given the magic wand? I think we'll just take it from there. So, Matthew, generally speaking, what do you think about the bottom half of the Scottish Premiership versus the top half of the Championship? How do those teams compare side by side? Are they much of a muchness? What's your thought?
Well, I mean, there's some big teams in the bottom 6 at the moment. Dundee United and Aberdeen. I think the Championship is strong enough to compete, certainly with the weaker teams in the Scottish Premiership. I think that if you were to expand the league, then you would get a lot of competitive games down there, and I think that there isn't too much of a difference if you look at it in terms of Livingston, Dundee, Kilmarnock, who are struggling quite a bit recently, and then perhaps you take St Johnstone, Partick Thistle, and although Ross County are struggling at the moment, they've been quite consistently up there in the Scottish Premiership or the top half of the Championship. So there's certainly a lot of teams that are quite close together. Obviously, the playoffs are difficult because the odds favour the team that's coming from the Scottish Premiership, so that's why it's more often that you see the team stay up. But I think if you were to have a fair competition, then there would be a lot of tightly fought matches. It wouldn't be like you'd have some sort of chasm at the bottom where there's like these teams are stranded at the bottom. I think there's good players, good managers, good coaches nowadays in the Championship. A lot of teams are very, very professional, so I think it would make sense to get them all together and have a big league. And that way you can just have teams play each other twice, like, and then it's boring sort of fucking 4 times a season pish, which is like can get quite monotonous. I think I'd like to see us have just home and away games against everyone.
Yeah, I would agree. I think we can make this argument or this debate full circle and come back to Andrew for points on what you've just mentioned, Matt. But just since you've mentioned that, I think for me, if you had an 18-team top division and then 2 divisions of 12, that's still the 42. There's an argument potentially that at the quality that you've got in the sort of Highland and Lowland League at the top end of that anyway, that an extra division in the SPFL could be produced. There's no reason why you can't add more teams into the SPFL potentially, but if you keep that out for now, 18 teams in the top flight, the current 12, 6 from the championship, they'd play each other twice, so that's 34 matches, home and away. Quite simple, quite straightforward. I'd like to see personally, I'm not a big fan of the split. Yeah, I would just get rid of that. 2 divisions then of 12. You take 4 from the championship just now. The top 8 of the League One effectively, and then the rest would go into the bottom division. I think that creates a really healthy competition. Like I say, I think there's an argument to add in an extra division of 12 or 10 at the end from Highland and Lowland League because it's all really competitive. There's 9 teams in the current Scottish Premiership that in the last 10 years have been down in the Championship at one point. If you exclude Rangers, because the reason they went down wasn't through bad football, it was bad management of the business. So take it as 8, and then there's 5 teams in League One in the Championship at the moment that have been in the Premiership in the last 10 years as well. So there's definitely an argument to say that teams go up and down, and they all can be very, very similar. Yeah, 2 games a season against a team, home and away,
makes it more exciting. You know, it's
much
like,
better.
Yeah, exactly. You could argue that the crowds may be even bigger because you've only got one chance to perhaps go to this one away game. Whereas sometimes you're like, oh, we played Morton this week, or I'm going to play them again in like 8 weeks' time, you know, or whatever, away again, depends on the way the fixtures go. Whereas like you go one game, you want to go to this game, this is the only time you can go. Let's all pack the away end.
Yeah.
Let's get go mental.
You've got anywhere between like 1 and 3,500, 4,000 Celtic, Hearts, Hibs, Aberdeen fans. United fans take 1,000 to most away games at least. So going away to a club like Arbroath, for example, from like a financial perspective, it's going to benefit all the clubs as well. I would think. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, it's not the original sort of debate question, but just to pick up on a little bit on what you were saying about the Highland and Lowland League teams moving in, is one thing that really actually pisses me off, because the SFA make it so fucking difficult for these teams to actually go up. There's so many times that you've had outright winners that just can't come up because of the restrictions they have, either whether it's their ground or whatever it might be. But realistically, at that end, you're talking about fan sizes of hundreds. You know, you're not talking about having to have a crazy infrastructure where you would need to be, you know, silver level, for example. You know, getting bronze is really, really fucking difficult for these small teams. So ultimately, as much as restructuring the leagues would be, from a fan perspective and from an outsider's perspective, interesting to see these teams kind of play each other, but it's the pressure that the SFA puts on these teams to then make that leap up. You know, so you look at East Kilbride, for example. You know, they've had to take some pretty heavy investment to get themselves in a position where they can actually comfortably go up and ambitiously try to keep moving up, rather than sort of pray to God that they can hang on till the end of the season and then move forward, which unfortunately at that end of the spectrum is reality. You know, a lot of these clubs are hand to mouth. So I think that whilst they're restructuring it, they should probably have a look at how they help to qualify teams to come up and down, because from my perspective, I don't want to see a team not playing in a league that they should be playing in once they've won the Highland or Lowland League, once they've won, you know, those competitions. Fair's fair. If they're a good side and they deserve to go up, they deserve to go up. Who cares it's fair enough if you're asking them to then move up to the Premiership. Understandably, there needs to be, decent policing of that. But when you're asking them to come into League Two, I mean, get a fucking grip. Like, just you got to relax the rules a wee bit there. And these are teams that are having huge impacts on communities as well. That are having hundreds of kids coming in and playing football every single week. So it's in the SFA's interest to try and encourage that. So it's a very backward system. But to come to the original point, sorry, I got a bit sidetracked there. There isn't much between the top six in the championships and the bottom six in the Prem. I know at the moment you've got a couple of teams that you would have maybe predicted that would be sort of top six material in the Prem. At the start of the season, your Dundee Uniteds, your Aberdeens, possibly St Mirrens, for example. But there's not a lot in it, as the fact of the matter. In fact, there's not really a lot in it from sort of fourth, fifth, maybe downwards. So when you're looking at St Johnstone, Partick Thistle, I mean, Arbroath, I mean, they're punching above their weight at the moment. They're a part-time team, but Dunfermline, Ayr, Wraith, you've got St Johnstone and Dunfermline that have had serious investment and have got a good long-term plan from, American owners that have come in and are wanting to push on. So how come you can't accommodate that kind of ambition in a league that's, ultimately not completely outclassing them in the Prem? I just don't understand that. And we missed the boat with that in the summer. I think the whole voting system is ridiculous. Having to...
Yeah, talk to us a bit more about that, because probably more than Matt and I do about the voting system and how it works.
You need 11 teams out of 12 in the Prem to make a change to the Premier League. 11 teams out of 12. Like that's like a super majority. It's insane. And then you're looking at 34 in 42 for the SPFL. Just to put it into context, if you want to make any changes in a very well established, very well run league like the Premier League down south, I think you're looking at a 60%, if I'm not wrong, or is it's 2/3, in comparison. Whereas here, I mean, I'm not that shit hot on maths, so I can't figure it out in my head. But ultimately, you must be sort of 90-odd%, if you're 11 out of 12, that you're looking to make that kind of change. Why do you make it so fucking difficult? And ultimately, how are you meant to get anything passed through? So, for example, right now, we've got VAR. And we've talked a lot about VAR in this podcast, but if we're trying to get rid of that, how fucking difficult is that going to be? Because ultimately you're going to need 11 out of 12 teams in that Prem to get rid of it. And then obviously if you bring the restructuring back on the table, are you then harming the other 6 teams that maybe would have voted a certain way as well? So it's a crazy system from top to bottom. It needs complete surgery. So for the 18-team league, we missed an opportunity there, missed a huge opportunity. As I said, you've got 2 teams with a lot of investment there and a long-term plan in St Johnstone and Dunfermline. You've got Wraith, you've got Partick Thistle, who are very steady, and you've got Ayr and Arbroath that are basically trying to push in, into that top 6. I know obviously Ayr made themselves a bit more comfortable there that last season after investing a fair amount as well. But these are ambitious teams within that top 6. Would they be out of place in our Premier League? Absolutely not, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Scottish football's on a real high. Like, teams are doing things they've never done before. The professionalism and the way they're making money and the way they're trying to engage with fans and the way that they're doing things is so well run now that the SFA risk missing a real moment in time here with their lack of, is it ambition or is it
bravery?
A to shake things up with the wrong teams,
I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's the TV rights. It's the 4 Old Firm games a season. It's exactly what it is. That's all it is. Because the thing is, it's not in their interest to lose that
2 games,
that income. They can't do that with an 18-team league. They can't make Rangers and Celtic play each other 4 times a season. But actually, the fact of the matter is,
They can.
I'm convinced it's not. They can. I'm convinced it's not Rangers and Celtic that are actually holding this back. I don't think Rangers and Celtic really get enough incentive to not do this. Like ultimately, and if you look at it, especially this season, imagine we made that change in the summer. Imagine the teams that are in the top 6 right now. Imagine them in the Prem. Like, I guarantee you a couple of them would be in the top 6 in the Prem right now, because you look at a couple of big horses that are not in there, as I said, you know, in Dundee United, Aberdeen, you know, St Mirren, that have been in there over the last few seasons. There's no doubt that some of these teams would be in there and disrupting. So,
Falkirk are proving that. Are proving that point. You know, they've got a squad of sort of 50% League One players from a few years ago that are competing very, very capably in the Premiership at the sort of 4th position, I think they're in now, or whatever it is.
Exactly, like football.
Long way to go.
Is so developed now that teams can do more analytics themselves. They have more research, more data to study. They have tools to improve their on and off the pitch. So why are they being stuck in a system, especially in the Championship? Like, I know as a Rovers fan, trying to get to the Scottish Premiership is a incredibly difficult task. I mean, you have to finish top 4 in your league, and then if you finish in certain positions, you have to get through a certain number of games, where it seems heavily weighted on the team that's in the Premier League to stay up. So I mean, why don't they open that up even a bit more? Like, at least try and open that up, make a bit more of an opportunity, a fair opportunity for a team that's you know, had a great season in the Championship, and you're thinking, okay, well, how likely is it that we'll even get, you know, past like the first round or the second round? It's ridiculous. Like, that system.
We discussed that in Room 101 as well, didn't we, Andrew? Your thing was like just the complexity of football now and the rounds you have to play for qualifying for tournaments.
That's been
and all
since the
that
beginning.
stuff.
I think they've had that playoff system,
And the playoff system for me, again, if you restructure the league, I don't have it to a T just now, but for example, just relegate 2 and promote 2. It's quite simple. It's obviously harder for teams to go up, because you need to finish in the top 2 of a League of 12 instead of the top 4 of a League of 10. But it rewards getting into those places. The only downside to that, and we've covered all the positives of making this change, but what are the downsides of it? And I suppose if you look at it that way, would it be the same teams that are yo-yoing back and forth? Is it going to be the likes of Falkirk or Livy or Airdrie or whatever it might be, just going back and forth because they have the 19th and 20th biggest budgets? I don't know. Probably not.
The thing is, this is the thing. The only area that argument doesn't hold is you look at Arbroath's budget. You know, it must be one of the smallest, if not the smallest, in the Championship. You know, and they're sitting 3rd at the moment. So you know that's, and you talked about Falkirk. You know, Falkirk must probably have the lowest budget. You know, in the Prem. So it just shows you it's not all about that. And then, you know, to come into the big one, you know, you look at Hearts. You know, Hearts. You know, Hearts are completely outstaging Celtic. You know, and obviously Rangers, who have got a massive budget in comparison. You know, but I think budget doesn't really come into or isn't the sole sort of decider, if you like. You know, when Matthew was saying how we're kind of playing the game now, how we're tactically kind of you know, using analytics, etc. You know, Hearts are obviously the best example of that. But you know, the game is evolving. However, I do feel the system is stopping us from evolving. You know, because at the moment we would have to have 11 teams out of the 12 in the Prem to allow us to then take a different voting system of, say, what, you know, if there's a majority, full stop. You know, so for example, if it's 7 out of 12, you know, or you know, if you're doing it from 18, it's going to be 10 out of 18 or whatever, you know, to make a decision. You'd have to make a vote first on 11 out of 12, get that through, and then change the voting system. You know, it's just, why have we put ourselves in this stupid position? Like, what? And the only reason is the TV money. But
yeah,
how can you share that then amongst teams that, as I said, have decent investment in the Championship? You know, Scottish football is in a good place. Attendances are fantastic. You know, per capita, it's superb numbers there, and there's a good reason why we are getting investment in teams like Dunfermline, for example, who haven't been in the Premiership for a hell of a long time, but now have ambitions to get there. There is good reason. There's a good business model there, but we're holding ourselves back.
An interesting point you've mentioned a couple of times is the money, the TV money. So if overnight it goes to 2 Old Firms a season, and all these big companies pull their money out, they don't want to pay for Scottish broadcasting anymore. Is that creating a bigger problem than the one it was solving? Because we need money in the Scottish game. I mean, currently for me it's not divided fairly enough anyway, but put that aside, we don't have enough money in the Scottish game anyway to grow it, to get more people watching it, to develop facilities and all these things. So if you rip that away, is it not a step backwards, no?
Well, only if it gets to that stage, that's the thing. So ultimately at the moment, as far as I'm aware, the reasons why we're held back from showing 3 o'clock kickoffs and all that kind of thing is because of this TV deal.
Right.
So ultimately, if we didn't have this TV deal and we went to a far more innovative way of showing this, say for example, you got a deal with a streamer, for example, you got, I don't know, a deal with, let's just say, Premier Sports, Netflix, fucking, Prime TV, whatever it might be. If you got a deal there, and that would open it up to much more than just the Prem. It's a chance to try and sort of change things up. And also, if there's more attraction to the game, there's more coverage, there's more reach, within these types of channels, which there is versus Sky. It's just true. Then ultimately it's attacking it with more commercial ambition, because you're trying to attract more eyes from all around the world to the Scottish game.
I get that, but the eyes of the world are on the Scottish game for, as much as I hate it, two reasons. It's Rangers and Celtic, and if you take away 50% of those games per season, I totally get where you're coming from. I think if we can get eyes to all levels of the Scottish game, scrap the 3 p.m. thing, get people watching those games because they can't watch anything else down in England, for example. There are loads of ways of spinning it, but would a Netflix or these other streaming sites that you're talking about be interested in investing the same level of money that we're currently getting without 4 Old Firms a season? I just...
Well,
I don't know. It's a big risk.
The answer is maybe not initially, but the Sky deal, when it was done, which wasn't that long ago, I think it was like 2 years ago, was pretty lazy, and it felt like there was not really a push to really have a bit of a bidding party there, as such. So I think that for me, I just think that there's a lack of ambition to do something different. The Scottish leagues could be so much more flexible. They could be game changing, for leagues of our size within Europe. We're not seizing that at all. If anything, we're just putting more hurdles in the way and making it far more difficult. But if we did go down that route of say taking a streaming deal, for example, right now, a lot of the clubs that are lower league and have got LED, around their ground, sometimes they're taking sponsors from Chinese betting makers, because a lot of the eyes that are on them is not actually from anywhere that you think, oh well, they've got a bit of a fan base in the US or something. It's actually from Asia, because they're able to bet on the game. So imagine if you properly tapped into that market. In all seriousness, though, it doesn't mean that you need to go with whatever the equivalent of Chinese Netflix is. But you ultimately could be looking at deals that then encourage teams to say, well, yeah, we want to have a global presence because we've got an opportunity, whether it's from betting income or whatever it is, to reach an alternative market. We're not doing that, and we're really restricted at the moment. So yeah, I
love that vision of someone in Japan sitting watching St Johnstone against Dunfermline at the weekend, seeing Josh McPake miss a last minute penalty, throwing his coupon against the window. Brilliant.
It's true. It's what happens, and it's what happens in lower league in England as well. But yeah. I mean, obviously that exists already, but it's more just the point that we could be doing something different if we had a more flexible voting system, if we were trying to be more accommodating of the teams that are actually in a position to try and step up, then we would be taking more in. But it's just we're just quite comfortable keeping it the way it is, because we keep sort of squeezing as much as we can out of these Old Firm games. The one question I'd pose to you guys, though, is if Hearts do win the league this season, how does that change things? Because ultimately, surely there's more of a commercial interest in watching Hearts next season, seeing them defend their title. Are the Old Firm games then becoming slightly less valuable?
I'd like to think it draws more eyes to Scottish football.
The Old
like to think
Firm's
so.
pish, man. Honestly, like the whole fucking nonsense where they weren't having any away fans, like the atmosphere was ridiculous. It was a joke.
Agreed.
But if the SFA wanted more games against Rangers and Celtic, if there was only 2 in the league, I'm sure they could have a few warm balls in certain draws, or they could revamp the cup competition so that Rangers and Celtic draw each other in a cup. They have to play like 2 legs or something, some nonsense like that.
The Old Firm Cup. Who's going to win it this season?
The Old Firm Cup. There's a League Cup, the Challenge Cup, the Scottish Cup. Everyone's just to do a competition. It's called the Old Firm Cup.
In the group stage, it's just Rangers and Celtic, and then knockouts Rangers and Celtic.
If you win the group, you get to choose home or away first. 2-legged semi, then a 2-legged final.
Yeah, that's it.
But what was I talking about? Let's say
Waffling shite. It's always.
Yeah.
So I think in short, for me, a bigger top division. Scrap VAR, scrap VAR. 3 o'clock kickoffs not being on TV.
Keep the playoffs, mate. I know you hate the playoffs.
Booze back in stadiums. Scrap the split. Scrap the playoffs.
No, playoffs
paper tickets instead of e-tickets.
Personally, I'd keep the playoffs.
Keep the playoffs, but make it like England,
manifesto.
just a 2-legged semi and then 1 final. Nothing your 2-legged finals. When's a final ever 2 legs? Like what year is it we're living in? A 2-legged final.
I can deal with a simplified playoff.
Yeah,
fine.
There you go.
But not like round of 16 playoff, then a quarter final and away goals.
Unreal.
Just playoff, neutral ground, cup final vibe. There you go. That's it.
But still keep the little make them get a trophy as well, because it's so sad when they just get that little sign that says playoff winner and they're just like jumping up and down. Like, give them a wee trophy. Like.
They tried to complicate it.
Manager of the month kind of thing. Yeah. Little plaque.
The SFA or the SPFL, whichever body it was that was proposing that change in the summer, they tried to make. I think they tried to move it to a 16-team league. That was the most popular amongst the options, because some people were saying that 18 teams means only 34 games if you just play each other twice. I don't see an issue with that, because everyone's banging on about fixtures being congested. You have this winter break as it stands anyway, because the weather's shite for 3 months of the year, it's 9 months of the fucking year. But the weather's shite for a lot of the year. Games always get postponed, especially in the lower leagues. Just have less games. There's nothing wrong with 34 games.
I think it's just
the Bundesliga does it.
It's not a Scottish football kind of criticism, that one. I guess it's a general football kind of criticism that they're trying to squeeze in as many games as possible. But would it make it more entertaining? Absolutely, yes, of course it would. So surely that's what it's about. I don't know. I think that's maybe where it gets lost. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I don't see.
I get why you'd have
any disadvantage in
it in a 20-team league, because it just adds up. Play each other twice, but in an 18-team league, just play everyone twice. And the thing is, if you've got Aberdeen, you've got Aberdeen at home. Like, you're only going to see them once. I don't know. What's your magic wand saying, Matt? If you've got one way of sort of solving this problem, or is there a problem? I don't know. I saw you kind of zoned out there, so I'm bringing you back in.
No, it's just reading some stats about Scottish football. I think you have to just take a chance, like, on something different. I mean, we've had the top 6, bottom 6 malarkey for how many years? God knows, like 30 years, maybe 20 years. Since whenever, I can't remember a time before. I don't even know. That wasn't the fact I was looking up. I think it could do no harm, honestly. I think it could make things more competitive. It could make things more exciting. It could draw the attention of the world to more clubs. We can maybe get, as Andrew said, more opportunities, alternative platforms, and the chance to promote more teams as well from the Lowland and Highland. Give these teams who've got a lot of money and a lot of supporters a chance to really work their way up the leagues in a way that's possible, other than sort of, again, the convoluted, difficult playoff nonsense they have to go through. So yeah, my magic wand is do whatever Andrew said and just go for it, like, and change the voting system as well.
Follow the commercial mindset.
But I don't see what the negatives are, other than like maybe losing Old Firms. But who gives a shit about that, man? Like, come on.
Yeah.
They can go to a tour of Australia in the summer or some nonsense and play there.
Fuck
it's
that.
Interesting,
but
isn't it? You'd said earlier, Matt, like Scottish football's never been in a better place than it is just now. It's funny that the narrative around this season is that Scottish football's shite. And it's all because the Old Firm. The Old Firm are getting beat in Europe and they're not top of the league and they've had to change managers. And that is the healthiest thing that's happened to Scottish football. If Hearts can continue this and go on and do it, and Rangers and Celtic continue to stumble,
like
I want to see them do well in Europe. Don't get me wrong, but for various reasons. But domestically, get them to fuck.
We can't be like.
Yeah.
You go, Andrew, mate. You go.
No, I think they control the narrative. There's no doubt about that. You know, it's the whole press, everything. You know, it's all built around the Old Firm, and again, it's because there's this weird monopoly. But honestly, I actually don't think it is Rangers and Celtic's fault. I do blame the governing body for it.
Celtic's fault, mate. They're the one club. They're the 12 club. They'll get Celtic. Dermot Desmond, his fault.
Clip up Matthew. They're not me.
I'm not ready for
it. Get your Wraith shirt out. But yeah, no, that's what it's all about. For me, seeing Hearts, you know, making it competitive is so refreshing. Like I want to see more of that, but we're stifling ourselves by not making Scottish football more investable. Like that's it. You know, if we had a bigger league, we had more teams in there. You know, you've got very commercially viable teams in there, and you know the top 6 right now in the Championship: St Johnstone, Partick Thistle, you know, Wraith and Fairmont, etc. You know, these are big teams that have got decent followings. Livingston have got decent investment recently. You know, arguably these teams are bigger than them. You know, so realistically, I think we're just shooting ourselves in the foot by not doing it. For me, I would rather see the restrictions focused in an area that is better for Scottish football. For me, I think there should be more restrictions on the amount of Scottish players that have to be playing for clubs. That's what I would really like to see, and especially at the top level. I think it should be far, far more focused on the amount of academy players coming through, the retention of those academy players, and those that are then going into the first team. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see any of this bollocks about having 11 out of 12 teams having to vote for this or that or the next thing, or 4 Old Firm games a season. I want to see something that's going to help Scottish talent, because it's really hard at the moment, and a lot of Scottish talent's having to go abroad to make a success of it. So why don't we try and, whilst we restructure things, make sure that we're trying to give ourselves the best opportunity? Tam, obviously, from your perspective, you care about the coefficient, you know, and that's why you want to see the Old Firm, or hopefully Hearts, you know, next season doing well in Europe. You know, we want to be seeing Scottish players doing well in Europe as well, you know, so then it feeds into the national team, and we've actually got proper good players coming from the SPFL into that national setup. At the moment, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems overpopulated by players playing in Serie A or Premier League or Championship or whatever. You know, there's very few that are actually coming through and playing from the SPFL. So I think use the opportunity to fix it properly is what I would say. Don't just change it to 18 teams. Try and fix the whole bloody thing at the same time.
Incredible. What an impassioned speech. Well, what a good way to end it as well. And just for any of our green-eyed listeners in Glasgow, the thing that we've been referring to for the last half an hour as the Old Firm is what you call the Glasgow Derby. The Old Firm is just Celtic and Rangers. Just, you know, we need a bit of Google Translate for you Celtic fans. Hey. Easy, Tiger. Gonna end up with bullets through the letterbox. Right, on to some quiz in action, a bit of light-hearted fun before we end this episode.
In a world where sponsorship is more accessible than ever, that world exists at sportsponsorship.co.uk. Whether you're interested in making a difference to your local community or further afield, Or perhaps you're looking for access to tens of thousands of followers online to push your brand further than ever. Get in touch with sportsponsorship.co.uk. That's sportsponsorship.co.uk.
Which is, as always, brought to you by Nooch Bar and Kitchen, Stirling's premier, only, the finest, the best plant-based bar and kitchen. What a wonderful place.
Amen.
44 Upper Craigs,
yum.
open Wednesday through Sunday. Quiz on a Thursday night if you're interested. Head to noochbk.com or .co.uk, I can't quite remember, to check out their latest menu and book a table. Great stuff.
Can we ever find you at that quiz by any chance?
Yes, I host every other Thursday. This episode comes out on the 11th of November. The next quiz will be the 13th of November. I won't be there. It's my co-host, Louis.
Okay.
The following week, I also won't be there because I'm double booked. I'm up in Aberdeen for work. But the week after, you can find me there. That'll be the 27th of November. Come and say hello.
Brilliant. Don't go for the next 2 weeks. Just go then, basically.
Well, yeah. Go on other days for the next few weeks to enjoy the food. Right, quizzing time for you boys. There's no graphic for this one. You'll be pleased to hear, so there's no fanning about. And because we've been discussing sort of championship stuff, I thought we'll do a championship-themed quiz. You're teaming up. It's Tinpot versus Tom Pot, if you will.
I like that.
It's a game of Tenable, so you've got to name 10 of something. There are 15 possible answers, and I'm going to give you 2 lives, so you get 2 incorrect guesses.
Come on.
Before you die. We're looking for any Scottish Championship Manager of the Month winner in the last 3 seasons.
That's grim.
So not including
of the
25-26.
3 seasons, right, okay.
Yeah, so 22-23, 23-24, and 24-25. If someone has won it more than once, they only count once as an answer, of course.
I honestly couldn't even tell you. They even really did an award for the Manager of the Month, mate.
Also, where the award has been won jointly by a duo, so if you name just one of the duo, you'll get the point. You can't name both, or 2 separate points.
The award, well, there's been there's been months where 2 managers are one at the. Really?
Yep.
You can't do that.
It happened once, and you'll understand why.
Was it like a dual? Okay.
Just giving you one away there. Anyway,
okay.
Start a guessing.
Okay, let's go Brian Graham and Mark Wilson, then I think.
That's the duo, yes.
There
well
you go. There you
and
go.
I think, I'm just going to say
only worth 1 point.
The Messiah. Is he the Messiah?
The Messiah, yep. I'm just going to be kind and give you that as John McGlynn.
John McGlynn.
Won it twice last season.
Come on, John. Good for you.
Valicari must have won it a few times this season.
Not this season, Andrew.
Not
Is
this
it not?
season.
Oh, right.
No,
sorry.
22, 23, 23, 24, 24, 25.
Dave
Sorry,
Martindale,
my bad.
surely. Livingston did alright last season. For a
Yeah,
wee bit.
surely, yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Won it 3 times last year.
Did you really?
Yep.
Like Ian Murray would have won it when Rovers were doing really well a couple of years back. Like he was.
Was that the 23 season onwards, though?
Yeah, I think it wasn't last season. It was the season before last. Because last season he was sacked after 1 game. The season before last. We got the season before last.
Right, okay.
Ian Murray,
yeah, go
please.
for him.
Ian Murray is correct. Yeah, he won the award just once in the season 23-24.
Shambles.
Scott Brown will have as well, like when
Yeah,
they
maybe last
rocketed
season he
up,
had a
surely.
good start. Yeah.
Scott Brown is correct. Last year he won it once.
Um,
Who's the boy that won the league with Dundee? No, Owen Coyle.
Correct. 22-23
well done.
season he won it once.
Just once.
You've got 6 so far. 4 more to get, and you've not lost any lives.
Who was good last season with Livingston Falkirk and it's Ayr. Season before last, Wraith were up there. Dundee United. Surely Goodwin won it once when Dundee United were going to win the league.
yeah, true,
Jim.
yeah, that was in that time as well, wasn't it?
Silver Fox. Jim Goodwin won it 3 times that season. Yep. 23-24.
Joke. 3
What other
times.
teams were there that did alright?
Wraith were up there as per. Thistle were up there. Airdrie were doing quite well, I think, that season under Rhys McCabe, and they did win the Challenge Cup. That season.
Would you think Rhys McCabe would have got? I
I don't know. It's hard to say. Like they came like 4th, so they must have gone on a good run.
Got 2 lives
Yeah,
to lose.
surely.
Yeah, Reece
And
McCabe,
that's
yeah.
it. You can't not give it to him, surely. But
I'm
that
not giving it once.
fucking
Reece McCabe,
budget.
he did not win the award. He lost a life.
Prick. Not Reece McCabe, Tom. They
Um,
only give it to the big
Tinpot,
boys,
that's
it
all
seems,
I'm
eh?
doing.
They only give it to the big boys, like. Poor Reece got to 4th, didn't win one manager of the month. You're telling me he's never done well in 1 month? Just
You maybe won.
see what that
Four.
season with when Ian Murray was there
Mhm.
at Raid. Who else were doing all right that season?
Thistle.
Who were
I
the
think
kind of?
Thistle were always doing pretty well. Doolan
was
was their
there?
manager. Chris Doolan.
What do you reckon? Then we'll go for that.
Yeah, Chris Doolan.
Life lost.
Oh,
Yeah.
bloody hell!
Incorrect. You've got no more lives to lose. It could be a victory for the house here. Come on.
How many wins did you get?
You've got 7 so far. You've
Right,
got
Gary Bowyer.
John
Look at
McGlynn,
Bloody teams.
John
Gary-
McGlynn, David Martindale, Brian Graham and Mark Wilson, Scott Brown, Jim Goodwin, Ian Murray, Owen Coyle.
Gary Bowyer.
Gary Bowyer is correct in the 22-23 season with Dundee.
Right, so then it was Airdrie, Partick,
2 more to get.
Leith, Dundee United. And then who was in the season before that? Dundee and Queen's Park were battling out for the title. Billy Dodds?
Well, Dougie Emery's been there a long time, is he not? Is
Took
he
him
surely
there a long
won?
time.
They surely
Billy-
got 1 month.
I think Billy Dodds would have got it as well that season because his Inverness team came like 3rd and then they got to the Scottish Cup final. I'm just going to say Billy Dodds, Andrew.
Okay,
Billy Dodds locked in is correct. Well done.
nice one.
So you think Emery?
1
Emery
more
had
to
been on-
get. That was in the 22-23 season.
Yeah, go
Dodds
for it,
got
Andrew. Dougie.
Twice, actually.
Surely Dougie Emery's got it
Aye.
at some point. Like, surely. Like, he's been there the whole time, isn't he?
Douglas Emery.
Answers you could have had.
Oh.
Callum Davidson last season. Robin Veldman, 23-24. Duncan
Veldman?
Ferguson,
The fuck is that?
23-24.
Duncan
James
Ferguson.
McPake, 23-24 for Pars. Lee Bullen, 22-23. And Dougie Emery,
Yes.
5 times recipient of the award in that spell.
5 times. Wow.
Well done,
he's won it
Dougie.
more than
the only one that's been there ages,
Great
I guess.
shout.
But
Yeah, great shout.
yeah, the only one that's won it.
Good manager.
Nice.
That amount of times in the last 3 seasons. Well done, boys. That's you beating the house with
Some
no lives to spare.
Some wild names in that list, like
yeah.
Robert
who's,
Veldman.
Who's Veldman?
he was manager of
Robin
Queen's
Veldman.
Park for like a few weeks. So I don't know what the
Yeah,
fuck.
he
Oh,
wasn't
really?
there long.
All right, okay.
He got manager of the
I'm
month.
surprised. Duncan Ferguson.
I know,
Did you say
really.
he
Hey,
got
big
it?
dunk. Yeah. 23-24.
Really?
I know. Did he get them relegated?
Hey, he was.
Yeah, that's
was he
what
not
I'm
off to a
saying, yeah.
flyer? He was off to a world
Oh,
in the start.
Classic
no?
new manager bounce, won like 3 games. They'll give him manager of the month just so they can get a photo up, probably. Yeah.
Everyone
Big
else
time.
had a bad month or something, but yeah, that's
There you
how
go.
it is.
Good job.
Your championship knowledge is elite.
I think I
lads.
got like 1 there, so it was pretty much all on you there,
You
mate.
got Emery
So
mate at the end there. That's that Sealy Emery son.
just tapped it in.
I know.
It's a clutch pull. It's very well done.
Nice.
That's the end of episode 24, everybody. Thanks for listening. If you've got this far, as always, drop us a like, a follow, hit the bell, subscribe, comment.
Yeah.
Comment. Tell us all your thoughts. Just slag us off. Any questions that you've got for us boys as well? We've got a Wraith Rovers fan, a Dundee United fan, a Rangers fan, Scotland fans, us all. So ask us questions. Let us know what you're thinking. And we'll be back again on Friday the 14th with a Scotland special as the men's national team gear up to try and qualify for the World Cup next year.
Already
Until
prepared.
then, yes, live well, live healthily, and arrivederci.
Cheers.
Bye. Like, share.